G'day and welcome to Mark and Sam After Work. Today I've got another design, another product that I'm looking at bringing to market, or basically designing and testing, and then if it's worth something, bringing to market. And it's about basically works on the same fundamentals as my adjustable bag base, which I've been through. There's lots of videos on the channel and that sort of stuff, but to explain part of what creates my form of accurate shooting in a semi-tactical sense, but is this straight line of push of your rifle. And I've been through all sorts of bits and pieces about how to create the straight line of push with butt pad heights and chassis and all the bits and pieces. Largely shooting in a tactical format, which means what I'm actually talking about there is in a bipod, a grounded bipod. So the bipod's not skidding, the bipod has proper traction. I get a little preload against the bipod, and with long legs on the bipod you get this straight forward and back action over that first bit, that first half inch, let's say, you know, it's probably more like an eighth of an inch, but half inch to 3/4 of an inch of movement over the recoil of the rifle. I do that also with a bag on the back here which supports the rifle, and a bag rider, and a pre-crush bag. So the adjustable bag base lets that set up to the right place where you don't get any dip and you get a nice straight shot out of the rifle, and that's what gives us our what's needed, extreme accuracy to be able to get on target at ELR, but it also gives you very small groups at 100 yards and very accurate everywhere. And the fundamentals of that is something that I suppose that works brilliantly and I find is super accurate. And to be honest, I find that we sell the bag bases all over the world. People that get them, you know, they get back to us with how much better their groups are. It all works very well. So yes, that is proof of concept, works well, is a product that we do, but I suppose, and then the bag and all that sort of stuff, there's all sorts of nuances you can go further down that road. But one of the fundamentals that I've always sort of seen as an issue, I suppose I'd say, is the bag bases and the bags and all that sort of stuff. It all works better and better for more and more accuracy as it gets bigger and heavier, and the bigger and more rigid, all that sort of stuff actually helps subtly in places. Bigger rifles, it helps also. But it is something that, yes, you get more of it in the fashion of more accuracy, but you also get a bigger issue for trying to use it in a practical sense in the way of beyond target shooting and beyond taking out a truckload of stuff to the range, or you know, a few arm loads anyway, or bits and pieces to the range or to where you're shooting to go and do that sort of stuff. So when it comes to hunting, or it comes to real tactical in the field sort of use of a rifle, then those things, although could be used, they aren't as practical simply through the nature of the fact the bigger, the heavier. We do lighter options and that sort of stuff, but it's still an extra thing that has to go with the rifle and has to be lugged around. I've also, this straight line of push, you've seen recently, have been thinking about this little system I designed to clip onto your rifle for shooting off a tripod. It gives you a bearing block and an arc rail to go on top of a tripod, and actually found that helped as well. So this is another little thing to bolt on your rifle and that side of things. But and I bring this up because it's all part of the same thought. It's all something that I've been thinking about for a while. Now, another part of this ingredient that I've been thinking about for a while, I did a video a long time ago, but that was about a monopod. This is, I think, from BT Industries, but this is a fairly normal little monopod. You can bend it down, you can bend it up, made, and listen, work quite well for some instances. Made with a little skid thing on the bottom of them, so in a skid format on a wood bench or concrete bench to a degree, they're going to skid straight backwards and not do too bad a job. I don't like the skidding side of things. I suppose set up in just the right places, that's going to the right sort of thing, it'll skid straight. The moment there's any roughness or there's any dirt to dig into, or you're shooting in the field or in a tactical sense or in a hunting sense, then the bipod, although it makes it probably easier to aim, in actual fact when you shoot there's quite a bit of stuff going on with this bipod, with the monopod and the back there, because it's got to skid across the ground and it's a pointed thing. So, but there is a very practical sense to the tactical side of things, and the practical side of things in this just clips on the rifle. You fold it away up in there, and then it's just part of the rifle, and you have a rear support that is very easy to use because of that. Like I said, I have some fundamentals with the accuracy side of what this is going to cause, and I don't like them for that reason. But what if I could join the things together? I suppose that's where the thought came from. My thought went into, how do I lighten off this, make this a lot lighter, a lot more practical to take around with you? And as much as you can do that to a certain degree, you start to lose the benefits. The heavier base actually works better. The wider, the heavier, the bigger, the more rigid, the bigger it is, the better it actually works for your accuracy. And you'll see when I'm testing and pushing the boundaries, I'll have my big base, my version 4 here, with a big bag on it, that sort of stuff. It works very well. It's for us, very simple, goes out, lays on the mat, lays on the ground. It's got 3 legs on it, so it can position itself wherever type thing. It's very easy to use for the way we do things. But if you were packing out to go hunting, or you're actually carrying your kit with you as you walk in a real tactical sense, that isn't very practical at all. You're not going to take one of those. And there's another little bit that I would say is part of the issue I'm dealing with when I think about the whole picture. You can do all your training and things. If you do that in the most accurate form, where you have got it on a rear bag, whether it's on adjustable bag base or it's just set up on a bag for the most accurate side of things, that's good for getting everything shooting really well. But then if you go and shoot in your real thing, whether it's hunting, whether it's whatever it is, in the real place you're not using a rear bag like that, well, you've got a difference between them. Point of impact shift, but also training, all that sort of stuff is not in the same place. So really, it doesn't need to be the same thing, but to have a supported, stable supported rear end is a very important thing to duplicate in both training, in rifle setup, and in actual use of what you're using it for. So, monopod, trying to get something that can give you a practical thing to use that is bolted to the rifle. So this, like I said, you can see how this works in the straight forward and back action there across recoil. The idea that I have at the moment is if I remove this from the conversation, I'll put that over there, and then I fit up this. This is not the normal rail that's on this thing. It is just what I've got here, so I make this easy to change over. I use a normal little universal bag rider, I should say, that goes on there. And this system here, I haven't got a name for it yet. I haven't worked out what I'm going to call this yet. The feature that you're looking at, which I just put on here with this monopod, is that there. There's a slide inside there. This is only very crude. This isn't going to work properly because I'm designing and be bearing system so it's super smooth. Whether it's a spring return, that sort of stuff, don't know. We'll figure that out as I go. But the concept here is that with a monopod, to get exactly the same, like I said, that's the right place, so we can get that exact same thing, that straight forward and back shove. This is slippery and that's not moving properly, but you can see what I'm talking about there. Get the rifle to move straight backwards and forwards on a grounded monopod at the rear here with a bearing slide in the middle here. The other bit about this bearing slide side of things, with the fact that that can slip backwards and forwards, and you put soft ends in it so it doesn't clunk and rattle. This is a bit loose, so it sticks and things, so it's not an ideal display, but I'm just trying to sort of show you what I'm up to. This thing here could also then do the same job as this bit here. So this unit, this bag rider, sliding bag rider, whatever it ends up being called, I'll make it so that you can bolt a Picatinny rail to the bottom like we've got here. This is able to be unbolted, and then it'll have just mounting points on the top, mounting points on the bottom. You could have one mounted up here. So, or have it on an Arca rail, so that an Arca clamp on the top and then an Arca rail on the bottom, and then it'll do exactly what this tripod system did, where it'll bolt to the front and do that side of things. I suppose it turns into the ways I can see how to use this thing. It sort of answers all the things I'm looking for. Where I was trying to look for a product I could buy that could do that in linear rails and that type of thing, I wasn't running into anything that fitted all the criteria I wanted. And in the way I'm looking at designing it, it'll have, like I said, bearings inside there, so ball bearings inside there, sealed ball bearings, so it should be able to deal with conditions to a fair old degree. And it just gives you this ability to then have something that, yeah, can be there as just a bag, or just a bag rider I should say, to be able to slide in a bag with any problems. And equally you can go and clip on the bottom of it a monopod to be able to give yourself a fold away unit that in this situation with this rifle here, exactly the same as this is obviously my bipod system, but any bipod's going to do the same thing, where that folds away into a then carry unit with everything on it. And on the back here you have that ability to do exactly what we're talking about there, and even use it. I've got some little grippers on the table, so stop these legs from sliding around. There we go. Even folded down like that, or just as just used in a bag, then you still have this ability to use the slide side of the system in there as well. That may turn into what this turns into, where then you're gripping more on your bag on the likes of our adjustable bag base, rather than having the bag rider sliding through the bag, is you actually have the bearing system sliding through there. Don't know where this goes, don't know where this concept ends up, but that's the idea, to be able to give you a in the field on the rifle sliding system in the rear, able to used in all sorts of forms, where you have that rear end controlled, very nice smooth control, not trying to bolt it, it's not trying to be a rail gun in that sort of format, just trying to give you a smooth controlled rear end, which isn't going with a squeeze bag that's falling out of your road. You do get to adjust it properly. That is the thing with a, not quite as smooth as using my sort of system, my adjustable bag base, but still you've got nice fine control to be able to get yourself right onto target accurately, so it's properly stable in the back of it, and do that one shot that really matters with a fully supported rifle, and actually start to get more and more down the road of having a true precision target rifle that's actually a tactical rifle in the field, able to use in all conditions. Anyway, I've got to build the damn thing yet. That is just a display thing used out of bits and pieces I had to put something together to display the idea. I'll get to work, and hopefully in, before the middle of this year, or this coming year, 2023, I should have a system that I'll be testing and showing off, and maybe it's a way forward. I don't think it's, I should say, in my honest concept of it, I think it's a good idea, but I think it is not going to have the same sort of, not in the monopod form anyway, is it going to have the same precision or quite the accuracy of a nice big platform. The adjustable bag base system we do does more than just give you adjustability, it also gives you so much more stability with the control from side to side, as well as the backwards movement, that sort of stuff. It really is really does help, it's the truth of it is. No more than a really good bag, but the adjustability side of things gives you that extra edge. But in the way of being able to take something that really does the practice training, all that sort of stuff, on something that's easy to carry around with the bag base when you've got your truck and that sort of stuff, to turn it into where you can actually haul in and haul out, or pack in and pack out with just the rifle and still have the similar sort of control. I think there's some merit to the thought. Anyway, don't know what you guys think. Let us know what you think, that side of things. I've got the design under control of what I'm doing there. I'll go through that process, go through the machining and build something up and test it, and hopefully get it right the first hit. But we'll see. We'll let you know as it goes. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for checking in, and we'll catch you next time.